a pilgrim in Austin, Texas, wind by the lake, 2 kilometers on a favorite secluded path. They talked about photos pinned to a path as relics, about the endless chase for digits on a screen, about the old teaching, to know there is enough, about the wave of AI that no one can stop, about the discernment that remains. We do not stop the ocean. We flow with life.
Hello. So I am back in my favorite secluded spot, right on this lake, right on the next to the platform where people, lifetime members, gets to enjoy the lake, gets to paddleboard, gets to swim. I'm here just looking out into the lake, into the distance. It's a nice day. It's like overcast, windy, and I am going to make a page out of this, share this walk so I can share this talk too, share the voice as a podcast episode. And you get to see the temperature, the weather, and now, literally yesterday, just added a whole new feature called reliquary, which is relics you collect along the way of your journey, of your path, when you're taking a walk. And the relics are the photos. So now when you're able to go on a walk, you're able to take any photo, use your camera app, and when you have GPS enabled for the camera, it's going to have a GPS point for any time you take a photo. And that photo, depending on the threshold that you are taking a walk on, it will be included as part of your route, your post summary. It's going to gather all the photos within that time period of your walk, as well as within the threshold of your GPS coordinate that you're taking the photo, and it will gather them in the post-walk summary, and you can pin them. So, obviously you're going to take a lot of photos or whatever, but none of them will be on the map. So it's up to you to pin your favorite photos that you took along the way that signifies as a relic of your walk, as kind of like a sacredness behind your walk. It's great. I think it's great for pilgrimages, especially because you get to see what's on the path, and some of them are memorable to you. So you want to take a photo of it. And none of it gets stored anywhere. It's just your photo in the Photos app of your iPhone. And when it gets populated, it's just a really low resolution of that photo. It's going to tone it down to, I think, 600 by 600 pixels. And, because you don't need high resolution. If you want to go high resolution, you can just it will take you, when you click on the photo, you have the ability to pin it as well as go to the photo app to see where you got it. And you can also press and hold the photo in order to pin it, like a shortcut pin way. And the cool thing, I think, is you have the ability to go down to the bottom of the screen and share your walk. And when you are on that page, on that screen, you have the ability to share your photos as well, as in addition to your walk time, talk time, steps, and all of that. And it's off by default because, this whole feature is off by default. You have to turn it on in the settings in order to even have this ability. But once you turn it on, you have the ability to pin the photos and stuff for your walk. And I think you can actually go back to the ones that you already did. It has that feature because it's doing it like a real-time thing. I think it might be cached if it finds the photo once, but if it didn't, then it will go through and try to find the photos that you already done before when you're using the app. And so when you share your walk, you have the ability to share the photos, and it creates a web page, like a really small web page, but it's like really nice. I think it's really small because it uses the Cloudflare worker to create a small page so that you can share it with your friends and family. Again, the photos are really low resolution, and the photo are all stripped out of any metadata because it converted into a low resolution photo to strip everything out, so there is no GPS coordinates or anything. But it does show by when you took it, at what point in time, as well as the distance that you took it at, and it pinpoints by kind of like a order fashion on the map. So there's like a pin on it. It orders through 1 through 9, I think, and after that there's no more. It's just 1 through 9. I think that's it. But how the feature even came to be was, I think it was because of my dad. So props to Dad for this, which is one time, I think about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, literally after this app was released, I was showing it to my parents. And my dad, on an evening walk, actually, we would walk like an hour after dinner. And he was asking if he can take photos on this journey. So when I thought about it, I dismissed it almost immediately. It just goes to show how the mind, the ego, has its own programming. Like, why do you need to take photos when you're taking a walk, right? And it defeats the whole purpose in a way. But I think like maybe 2 weeks later, I don't know what triggered it, but I thought this was actually an awesome idea. So I just jotted down a few notes and just started kind of prototyping / ideating with Claude about it. One, I didn't even know if this was even possible. So I asked Claude if this was even possible, and they said, yeah, of course, you can do this. So we did, and I think the feature from ideating to like implementation was less than a week. It was crazy. It was crazy how Claude works, and just guiding it along the way, co-creating, and now this feature is live and awesome. There was hardly any bugs. There were a few bugs, which I went through maybe 3 or 4 builds in order to get it right. But yeah, it was a really smooth process adding this feature, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it, this photo relic feature. And yeah, hope you guys try it out. And I am actually doing this right now. So I took 2 photos on the way to the secluded spot. And in the podcast, there is the share your view the walk button, which you can just click and it will take you to that page. So you can actually follow along. So I'm just going to take a photo right now of the secluded spot, so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about when I'm saying that this is a cool spot to look at. So I'm going to take a photo right now. Bam. Yep. So it will be shared later, and we'll see how it looks. And also, yeah, I've been dropping whispers quite a bit. So let's drop a whisper. What's a good whisper? Stillness. That's a good whisper right here in the secluded spot.
Nothing else.
Yeah, so now the whisper, it just plays a random sound. And I've been getting, podcast guests, their voices, and putting them into one of the 7 category called energy, one of the energies. I think it's going well, and I really enjoy doing this. And also Claude 4.7 came out. I don't know if it's actually Mythos. It's probably a tuned down version of it. But it came out yesterday, and it made ruckuses around. I guess anytime one of those frontier models come out, it makes its way around the internet and people try it out. And there's this like conspiracy theory of people using the frontier model, like the latest model, and it works for, not conspiracy, maybe a memeable thing where it works great for the first 3 days or a week, because they want to show off the frontier model, and then they just degrade it afterwards. It makes it more crappy because they don't need it anymore. They got the marketing, so to speak. And yeah, I'm sure OpenAI will come out with their competing model. It's just a arms race, unfortunately. And that's what it is. I was recently caught up on GeoHot's blog, and he was saying something about, there's a post about money, how, it's all essentially fake. You can print. One of the blog posts was like, we should have a print billionaire act, and just print $1 billion to everyone. Everyone receives $1 billion, and it just goes to show how like crazy it is, right? It's just digits on the screen, and that we're all pining towards. And now we just have our system is geared towards just grabbing more of those digits instead of being productive, being creative, being useful with our God-given talents, gifts. We chase after these fake illusions, the energy, the what's it called, the digits on the screen, in order to kind of like fake satisfy us, but it's like all temporary. It's just a fake thing, and someone else's controls. He calls it like it's a private database. Someone else controls the commands. They can just like print on demand, and we're all just supposed to take it essentially. And if you print $1 billion, there's also the thing called Cantillon effect, which is, they say that wealth distributes, you distribute the wealth, and the trickle down theory, right? It's all BS. But what it is you distribute the money to the wealthy, and the wealthy will eventually distribute the wealth down to the worker class and to the poor. But what they don't tell you is the Cantillon effect, which is when you distribute wealth to the top class, what they will do, they know how fake everything is. The money is quote unquote worthless, because at the end of the day, just a representation. It's like a map. It's not the territory, but it's the map. And you don't want the map. You don't want the fake thing. So you want the real thing. So they would get rid of their fiat / digits on the screen for something tangible, something real, like real estate, like ownership of a company or something. So they would basically just dump all the scam coins, scam rugged US fiat dollar things, and buy real assets like real estate, like gold, precious metals, like Bitcoin, and hard, tangible / intangible things that are limited and scarce. And it's also like money is a belief system, because when you think about the US dollar, it used to be backed by gold, then it was taken off, and now it's just backed by the confidence of the people, confidence in the United States power, superiority, tech / military. But once that illusion is gone, then the dollar will collapse. But so will every other currency in a sense, because every currency is fiat right now. And eventually there's like 100% success rate in collapse of fiat currency. They either just overinflate it, and then you got Zimbabwe dollar. Everyone is a trillionaire in Zimbabwe kind of thing. So do you really want to be a billionaire if everyone else is a billionaire? But it's like a classist thing. It's like we want to be better than our peers in a sense, right? That egoic trip of power over someone versus just cooperation. And even our school, it teaches that. It teaches that you compete with your peer in order to stand out, to like go for the top of the class and things like that. So we've been trained, conditioned from a very young age from our schooling to do it this way. And then if you think about that, the school system was geared towards like these industrial revolution way of training kids to be factory workers, because everything was designed to to make it a seamless transition when you get out of the school to go to a factory to work 8 hours a day. You get 2 weekends off. The same thing for students. You get spring break, and you get vacation. All of that is just geared towards us to be this caged animal in a way. And I think Nassim Taleb, one of his famous quote was, "The most dangerous drug is a 2-week paycheck," because we've been relying on the steady flow, the drip, that drug they call money money is interesting because it's like a middleman to our desire, because we have all these desire, and then the money is just a middleman to get to that desire, and we've been conditioned for that too. And Michael Singer, Surrender Experiment author, he has this saying of imagine you're on a deserted island, and then someone dropped a cash crate of $1 billion of just like fiat currency, just paper money. What would you do with it? It's worthless, right? Even though there's the map that we've been conditioned to think that money is worth something, but on that deserted island where you're by yourself, there's no one, even if you have one other person or something, if you can't come to consensus on this is what we use to exchange our value, then it doesn't mean anything. Money is just a consensus rule. It's just a belief, a story. And it's one of the most powerful story, actually, to get people to believe in that narrative, in that the money as paper has value and things. It makes it easier to transact as a medium of exchange, but people who create the money wants it to be a certain other way, and they obviously, it's like human power corrupts absolutely kind of thing. They corrupt it. They corrupt it to become more powerful, to like a bottomless, endless pit that you will never be satisfied with. It's just like, at least like other kind of greed, let's say gluttony. You eat. It's that lust, that greed for more food in order to satisfy that sensory taste. And there's, I think back in the Roman or something, there's a room where you puke. It's like a puking room. So you eat a lot, and then you literally stick a finger down your throat in order to puke out what you just ate, so you can go back to eat more. And that kind of gluttony we have for money, for greed, because money is like an endless thing. You can always chase after more digits. It's a bottomless thing, right? It's never ending because you're always competing with your peers. Versus when you have enough, knowing that you have enough. I think there was like a Hunter X Thompson story, or another author. He went to like this like billionaire island, and everyone talked to is like super wealthy, and then and his friend asked him like, what do you have that other people lack, I guess, or something. I don't remember the exact quote, but he just said, I know I have enough. And that's the teaching, the middle way, the moderation in moderation, right? We have to know to the extent that we're good at saying, okay, this is enough, and be okay with it, and not listen to our ego, listen to the mind to chase after more. It's the more that's like causing a lot of issues these days, essentially. Yeah, that's my rant for the day. I'm going to meditate a little bit on this beautiful bench right next to this pine tree, beautiful pine tree here, and that's shading me from the sun. Thank you, tree. So this morning I tried to submit this app on Hacker News, and I think immediately it got like flagged, because right now, well, I didn't know until I emailed hn@hawaiicombinator.com, where right now, if you do the show HN, there's so many people, because of rise of AI, everyone is trying to write apps and whatnot, and they got so much overwhelming submissions that they have to start flagging them automatically in order to deter people from showing it. And that's a real issue, I think, because right now, I think now it's a distribution problem. I think everything now becomes a distribution problem, because when you have the ability to create basically almost anything, then the only other kind of gatekeep is the way to distribute out, to let people know about your creation, right? And we all have a limited amount of time, energy, attention, which all the same. So it becomes a thing. Yeah, obviously it's going to become exponentially harder, I think, to even monetize apps. Hence why, Pilgrim is free, because it's a gift to the world. But I can foresee other people trying to make money off apps and stuff, because it's a way livelihood in order to get what you can, in a sense, before AGI. And yeah, we still don't really have a good solution to what's the world, as like David Shapiro put it, post-labor economics. Right now, everything is capitalism and communism, all these isms, and we do not have a good way to kind of, what is money, to have people get their basics needs in life, which we will have abundant of, but the better question is, what will people do after AGI? If most of the jobs will be taken away by AI, what will people do to sustain themselves creatively? And part of that is like the distribution problem again, is like, even if you can create, are you creating for yourself, or are you creating for others to view? For me, it's probably both. Like the Pilgrim is, I am doing this for myself, but partly also I want to distribute this to other people, to let them know how cool it is. It's like part of the egoic thing too, right? Is to see that, let others check out your creation. And yeah, who knows where this will go, but I am gonna keep working on it. Oh, speaking of which, I started another repo for Android just yesterday, because of, coincidentally, with the Claude 4.7, I thought it was like a universe's sign telling me that, to start working on the Android version, because I got quite a bit of requests from friends to let them use it on their Android, because they don't have iPhone, and it looks cool, really cool, I think, on iOS. So I'm looking forward to port that, and doing like the phase 0 right now, or actually phase 1. It's like an MVP to actually test out the functionality of it. And right now, I'm working with Claude to port it over to see if it actually works, just the basics, and without any kind of design or anything. And yeah, I'm actually curious to see how long it would take for Claude to port this whole thing, because I know Claude is crazy at copying, and so they're copying from Swift to Kotlin. I wonder, and they're almost the same, I think, like the language, but there's probably differences in different packages and different things that you can use. Like Weather Kit is an Apple thing. Android has their own thing, which is also free, but there's things like that which it already outlined when we were planning it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working on the Android version. Luckily, I have both phones. I have a OnePlus Android phone that I was going to use to do these walk, talk, meditate. So I had plans to do these like walking videos with no speaking, no speech, just walk while just carrying the phone with like a stick and just walk like a pilgrimage route, maybe like for 20 to 40 minutes, and that's the video. And another type of video would be meditation. So I would go to a beautiful garden somewhere and just sit there. I'll meditate and just point the camera, the OnePlus, at a particular beautiful spot and just sat it there. Like it's almost like the audience is meditating along with me kind of thing. And all of that will be shared with the Share Your Walk. So you can actually see the route. And I think that's a very unique thing where now you're able to, the viewer are able to follow along to see where the creator is actually doing exactly. Like when the creator can take a photo and they can see where they actually took the photo and actually see on the webpage and stuff like that, which is, I thought was pretty cool. And I have another marketing idea, which it's like a guerrilla marketing. And I did this when I was super young, when I was like just graduated from college, just doing my own thing. And one of the first thing I did was to do these like business cards, but not business cards, but just like marketing cards that look like business cards, and then go to Barnes and Noble or anywhere there's books, and then just like stuff them as like bookmarkers into the relevant books. So the idea came to me to do this for Pilgrim with like really beautiful cards. Actually, I use moo.com. Like now all of my business cards / these kind of idea comes from Moo, and Moo are awesome. They have this feature called Printfinity, where if you buy a 50 pack, that's like their minimum, you get to go up to 50 different design on one of the ends, like I think the front or the back. Anyways, you get 50 backs, let's say, 50 back different designs and one front design. And I printed out, I actually already batched it, and then and they're coming in next week. So there's gonna be 50 cards. It's like the first edition in a way. 50 cards, and each of the card has a museum art, a museum picture. They're all open source. They're all Creative Commons, whatever, licensed. And they have those beautiful pictures, and on the bottom or on the back there is, if you found this, go take a walk, like just a small quote like that. And there's pilgrim app.org/found, and if you go to that page, it's not indexed or anywhere, so you have to literally know about this page, and you say, or you can email, if you found a card, email it. It's optional, but if you found it, you can email a link in there and say where you found it, how you found it, what resonated with you when you found it, and you can say anything, and then it will be displayed in the found for other people to see. And one of the cool things I forgot to mention is once I get the 50 cards, I need to take a photo of it, so it got like a collection together, and that's the only time when I have all of them together. And I plan to do this like for multiple editions, like 50 for one, and then next 50. Oh, also, each of the card will be there on where the picture is. There is a dotted line, and above, I'm going to personally handwrite the card number. So it's like a very personal thing. And I bought a really nice fountain pen just for this, like one of the best fountain pen kind of thing, and then just like write on that dotted line the card number. And so it's like a special thing. I enjoy it. I enjoy kind of seeing people. I won't know their reaction, but I can imagine what they will find if I was them, kind of thing. I would totally use that as my bookmarker, because it's a really nice card. Like Moo makes really nice card. I really dig their whole thing essentially. And yeah, so doing that, I don't know if there's any other. I think those are the two main things I really want to focus. Take a photo right now. This is the spot that I come to sometimes to meditate when I was at WeWork. So just a bench overlooking the lake. So I got 40 minutes before my yoga class, which is right there. Just gotta walk back. But yeah, it's a nice, beautiful day, and the photo reliquary. I don't even know about this word until like Claude put it up as a word, and I had to look it up to see what it means. Oh, it's crazy, right? So yeah, there's that beautifulness about co-creation. I know some people really hate AI. It's like we're all reflection of the world kind of thing. So there are people that fully embrace it, while others just hate it and thinks it's not creative or just whatever, just AI slop, let's say. And in the future, AI will be way better than humans, so how can you call it slop? And I feel like, imagine the AI slop. AI slop is slop because it takes AI a few seconds to a minute to do kind of thing, right? But imagine you're able to co-create with AI the amount of raw capability that it has with your talent / taste. And yesterday I actually watched a spiritual video from Ananda, and Pranaba was talking about AI, and I don't know if he's actually used it, but he at least knows concepts about it. And he had this really key word that I kind of mapped to now, realizing is, he said discernment. Discernment is literally taste, because whatever AI comes out of, you really need to discern if it's true. One, if it's true or not, but two is if it maps to your taste, if it vibes with you, and that is the discernment. That's actually one of the teachings of yoga, even Buddhism, about discernment, discerning what is right, what is true. And so we all need to up our game, up our skills on discernment in the age of AI, because how else are you going to survive, kind of thing, right? You have to co-create with AI and then discern what vibes with people. That's essentially what I guess Rick Rubin does, is the discernment, boiling down everything to their essence and still feel it vibes with him. So I think in the age of AI, discernment is key. And imagine, not talking about AI slop, but if you're able to create with AI and not just take a second or a day to do this, but imagine continuously working with AI for a year, right? That kind of creative work comes out of it. I shudder to kind of imagine what craziness would come out of that, right? And I felt it, where all of the coding things with Claude, I'm able to get a prototype / just build these features in a week, where it probably would take me months at a time. Now you can boil it down to days or a week. So imagine that doing for a year or 2 years and things like that. I can definitely feel a sense of acceleration in my mind when I'm working with Claude on projects and seeing how fast everything has been built, being completed, and then seeing the normalness of life, of how slowly it's like a cognitive dissonance almost, where in my normal life it's just going day to day, walking, talking, meditating, doing yoga and stuff like that. It's just going by normally. But On the other side, when I'm working with Claude, there's such a rapid pace to what I'm doing that I feel like months has passed by, even though it has been a week or two, right? So that kind of distortion is very real. I feel like probably other people feel it too, but I just want to bring it up. Yeah, so that's what it is. Like I said, we have to flow with life, flow with what is, and there's people trying to slow down AI progress when it's like trying to stop the ocean wave. It's almost impossible, and people are trying to, bomb data centers. Yeah, I can definitely see eventually people will try to bomb data centers and try to stop the revolution, or start a revolution to stop the progress of AI and stuff like that. Because yeah, like I said, there is no proper handling of the current trajectory of hyper growth / exponential growth of AI, and thereby people have no idea what's coming, because the next fold could get us to the moon, kind of thing. I'm talking about fold as in like folding a piece of paper, and it takes only 42 folds to get to the moon, hypothetically, if you're able to keep folding the piece of paper, which is essentially doubling. So 42 doubling gets you to the moon from a single piece of paper. And we've been doubling our semiconductor every 2 years for, I think, like 30 or 40 years. So it's coming. And AI is just a extension of that. The model, the training, and all of that is it's accelerating. And then we have AI training AI without human input. That makes it even faster, that recursiveness, right? And recursion is like one of the crazy compounding factor in not only computer science, but just like in nature, like the fractalness of world, like spiralness of it. So be mindful. All we can do is, surrender ourselves to the universe, to God, and be in tune with the world, with what is coming. And I think that's like the really only way to be okay in this. And yeah, I can see that it could affect dramatically a lot of people. Hence why this app, like one of the only thing that makes human a human is the ability to walk, talk, meditate. And not AI can really, AI can fake talking, but can they walk? I'm not talking about like robot walk, but just like walk, and can they really meditate, kind of thing, right? So walk into the gym, and it's been another beautiful episode. Take care, enjoy your day.
The wave does not ask to be stopped. It asks only to be met